2022 Endurance E-Racing World Championship brought to you in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patriot, Aztec SimSports, Global Flix, Motorvision.tv, Sten Goldman, ESTV and Film Vault Limited.
Racing for Green is here to help you carbon neutralize your racing. By planting new trees, Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
Just think about the fun things you do online. Diving into movies you love. Shopping. Enjoying free Wi-Fi with your morning coffee. Wait, who's that guy? Meet the Digital Snooper. It can be your internet service provider peeking at what you do online. Or a cyber criminal on a mission to snitch your credit card info. Or a hacker at the next table trying to steal your sensitive data. Uh-oh. But don't worry. NordVPN keeps all these snoopers away. It makes your internet activity private, protects you from accessing dangerous websites, and lets you enjoy your favorite content securely, even while away from home. The best part? It's just a click. Yep, internet security is that easy.
You can get NordVPN today at a 60% discount by visiting gtr24h.org/VPN.
Welcome back then to the EEWC, the third round, which takes us to the 12 hours of Sebring. It's hour number 3, and we have, well, a lot has happened already in the past 2 hours. Welcome along and welcome back to the action here at Sebring. My name's Kieran McGinley. We've got Chris Buxton, who is just taking his break, so unfortunately you're going to have to for the next couple of hours. I do apologise. Anyway, we've got action out on track here. We've got Giordano Valeriano in the Musto Pescara number 54 machine. The sister car, the 53 machine, has gone through a bit of turmoil, disconnections and whatnot. Having a look here, it's still disconnected, so 4 teams are not running at this moment in time due to those disconnections, one of them being who was the leader of the GT3 classes, the Christopher Kanek and the 82 Mugen Sim Racing. Unfortunately, we have lost them, and they have turned since. There's Alister Yoong in the Sem 9 Axle machine, currently 4th in class, and I wonder if the standings are going to behave themselves. If not, we'll just on through the leader of each class. But in DPI at the moment, Michi Hoyer is at the top of the order in the number 18 Burst eSports SimPlexity machine. Fastest lap so far, 44.6. Jimi Nisula in the 64 Moradness eStars car, there you see him, is in second place and very, very much closing in. Best lap of a 44.1. And the gap between them has come down by a second on that last lap alone. So Nisula is really pressing on. Rounding off the top three in DPI is Denis Eschenko in the number 17 Unison Racing car. Top three in LMP2 at the moment. It's the 164 Satellite leading the way. James Juba at the wheel. Deuces Motorsport, the number 15 car, is in second place. At the wheel of the machine is Darius Andrei. And the number 94 Burst eSport Goddr Sunglasses car, Rasmus Andreasen, behind the wheel, is currently rounding off the top three in LMP2. In GTE, it's Deuces Motorsport Club, the number 74 Wojciech Polesny at the wheel, with Max Benovic in the 717 Unison Racing car in second. Third place is the 45 DIS Sim Racing Lab machine. Don't know who's behind that wheel at the moment, but in a short while. In GT3, however, Lucas Vela in the CKR machine, the number 13, the Brazilian flag-laden McLaren. You can see it just in the midst there. That's your GT3 leader at this moment in time. The 404 Glam Racing, Andrei is currently in second place. And then it's the 777 of the DSR Gadget Husit car, Michael Ciccolini at the wheel behind there. And that takes us through the top three of each class at the moment. And we were talking about traffic management, weren't we, earlier on? And Michi Hoyer and Jimi Nisula are trying to do just that, making their way through the sea of GTEs and GT3s and maybe even an LMP2 just to throw into the mix. At the head of that field is the Unison Racing car there. There's the DIS Sim Racing Lab car in GTE. Third place in GTE moment. The Porsche then trying to make its way around the track. Watch on the battle for the hypercars into the third hour here of the 12 hours of sea. Don't forget as well, if you want to get in touch, make sure you use the YouTube chat. Give us a hello. Nick Newcomb, I can see in the chat there. Definitely supporting Deuces. I don't know who else he'd support if there wasn't Deuces. Kind of goes without saying that it's a welcome along, great to have you with us. Hopefully having a great time in what should be some glorious sunshine to enjoy. Race car legend as well in the chat then, supporting Glam Racing, the 404 machine. Great to have you along with us. And if you can't access YouTube, well, you on Twitter, hashtag GTR24H if you want to tweet at us and in the commentary box. And if it's clean, we'll use it. Same as the drivers, if it's clean, it'll be fine. Jimi Nisula then still trying to put Hoyer under that little bit of pressure coming through turn one. Short run up towards turn two with the B32 Racing McLaren up ahead as Michi Hoyer looked for a move down the inside there. Not quite sure if it was going to stick. We've got a replay here. I see the Unison car is in the picture with the 54 Pescara. Pescara. Now, what happens through here in towards the corner? Oh, that's a meeting you don't want to have. Into the wall on the outside, so that might be a little bit of damage for the 54 car. Again, we've seen cars get away with that sort of damage and able to run a little bit longer, but the sister car, the 53, which is no longer in this race, did have a little bit of suspension damage, so they had to just constantly drive as a correction to keep the car in a straight line. You see in the top right hand corner, I don't know if I'm pointing that way, top right hand corner you see the highlights from the last hour, just in case you have missed anything at all. If you have just joined us, a very good welcome to you here at Sebring. Weather still dry and the radar looks very clear. In fact, it's the clearest it's looked all weekend. Very, very clear indeed. You'll just see maybe towards the southeast of the circuit, but pretty much beyond the land at the moment is that weather front at the moment. So it's been really kind to us, this weather. We were expecting quite a bit of rain. Expecting as well Jimi Nisula, seeing what he can do, trying to get his way past Michi Hoyer as they make their way on towards the start-finish straight once again with the Aston Martin to make their way past. Down towards turn one they go once again. I mean, he's been quick. They grabbed the pole position for the race, and Michi Hoyer just got the better start, and it's been this way ever since. And even so, we saw Jimi Nisula have a little bit of a mistake at the hairpin turn, locking the rear brakes and going for a bit of a half spin. He's gained all that time back, so it's very clear Jimi Nisula is absolutely on it. It's a rocket at the moment as he's looking for a move up the inside, perhaps in towards the hairpin bend. Not this time around, but now making his way then on towards the Fangio chicane. Long run up towards Cunningham Corner. Again, Nisula just wanting to see if he can try and make this move stick. Up towards Cunningham they go. Keeping him honest, that's all he needs to do at the moment. Now through Collier Curve, or they make their way up towards power turn. 90-degree right-hander. Back onto the power they go, on towards the Flying Fortress straight. Way through Bishop Bend. Then, or they make their way on towards Gendembian Bend. Rising up now for Le Mans Curve. And then on towards the Ullman Straight. And again, Jimi Nisula losing a bit of time on Michi Hoyer through that section. But I don't think he'll be too concerned, because on the whole, he's got the pace to really, really keep Michi honest, which is a very, very thing to do. Now that didn't see that. I didn't see that in the last hour anyway, just to the top right. That was a very interesting one. As we see then Thomas Redegaard, Telefoinigan, 188, just a little bit off circuit then, perhaps letting some of the cars through behind. Either way, just making sure. Honest Jimi Nisula looking up the inside now. Is there going to be contact? Yes, there is, and Jimi Nisula goes for another half spin. Now, was there contact between them? That looked like there looked to be a little bit of contact between them going in towards the early stages of the lap. Let's have another replay. Let's have another look at that as we saw to the Telefoinigan car. So this is coming up towards turn 2. Nisula up the inside, and yeah, there is a bit of contact between the two of them. But Jimi Nisula goes for that half spin, able to get back going again. But this time, well, we've already seen Nisula scythe through a gap before, and don't be surprised to see him scythe through the gap again. Watch on to Angel Benegas. Oh no, Tom Kapusta. My apologies. In the Satellite Racing 264 machine, currently 6th in GTE, and they're riding on board now with Jimi Nisula. He looks to once again get back onto, regain the composure. I'm sure there'll be radio communications there. Don't think it's going to be a very happy Jimi Nisula on the other end of those radio waves. Meantime, though, we've seen him cut through a deficit like that before, and don't be surprised to see him cut through the deficit again. Looking at the best laps of the race so far, well, we can say Burst eSports SimPlexity, and we could say Moradness eStars, but Michi and Jimmy have been behind the wheel since the start of the race. So Jimmy at the fastest lap of the race with a 44.125. Michi Hoyer's best lap, 44.6. So, half a second between the best laps so far. Not fair to compare this lap time because, of course, there was that contact and Nisula had the half spin. But this is going to be an important lap for Jimi Nisula. Way through turn 2, just in the top right hand corner, you can see the Gadget Husen car make its way through, trying to be chased down by Tom Kapusta there, I think, in the Satellite Racing machine. Sorry, no, that's not right, I don't think. But anyway, Jimi Nisula then down the inside. I was right. I mean, entire production, I was right. Michelini is ahead, and then it's Kapusta behind. As we ride on board with Jimi Nisula then. Yes, making it look easy, really, going through these ET cars. Really, really easy. And then closing in on Michi Hoyer up ahead. I mean, that's the car ahead. That Burst eSports SimPlexity car, that's the car ahead. And this is just, Jimi Nisula is making this look so easy right now. Tremendously easy. And I can guarantee you it's not. Sebring is a very physical circuit. You don't get a lot of respite. Don't get a lot of time to breathe around this track. Kapusta then trying to reel in the GT3 car. From Kapusta trying to find his way past the GT3 car, I should say, of the Gadget-Husen. Then they've got, I think that's the LMP2 Burst eSports Goddr Sunglasses car making its way through, which it was. There is Jimi Nisula once again closing in. And look at this pace. Let's have a look at the last lap times then, as they come across the line. Michi Hoyer on the last lap, 46.3. And Jimi Nisula, 45.2, 9/10 of a second. He's closed in on that last lap. Phenomenal pace from Jimi Nisula at the moment. Oh, that was someone looking for an inside move. That was the Team Adrenaline car down the inside. But taking that position away. And, well, I'd rather be up here than in Tom Kapusta's shoes, that's for sure. Because that looked a little bit dicey. But they all made it through. So I guess at the end of the day, that's all that is that everybody makes it through. There is one of the LMP2 cars at the moment. Following him, that is second in LMP2 at the moment. Liam Rance in the Satellite Racing machine. So Satellite running a 164 and a 264, the 264 being the GTE entrant, and there is Tom Kapusta using that little bit of slipstream from the Gadget-Husen car up ahead as they now make their way up towards the hairpin turn. Again, the battle for the lead continues. Jimi Nisula right onto the back of Michi Hoyer. These two have been really battling since this race started. Towards Gendembian Bend. Towards long curve, back onto the Ullman Straight. Their way through for Jimi Nisula. He tried last time on the inside of turn 2, but did not end well for him. Wonder how he's going to approach this time around. Through the final corner. I'm sure the radio waves will be very busy for Jimi Nisula right now. Back onto the start for the straight and onwards towards turn 1. A little bit of slipstream as well. Make way towards turn 1 once again. Now, if I'm Jimi Nisula, I'm not looking for a move down towards turn 2 because it didn't end well last time out. Turn 2 they go. No, not this time. Really trying to gather the car up through these bends before we make our way through the long right-hander at Gurney Bend. Bit of slipstream as well. Maybe sizing up a move towards the hairpin turn. Might be slightly too far back for a dive up the inside, but definitely he knows he's there. Oh, Michi Hoyer locking up under braking. And that's just going to allow Jimi Nisula to really apply that pressure even more right now. Wow, that was a big lock-up from Michi Hoyer. Locked up the rears. Just about managed to get himself up and running once again. But, yeah, bit of a heart-in-mouth moment made from Michi Hoyer. It's hard to say with Michi because he's got a very calm demeanour about him. But Jimi Nisula, again, looking up the inside, no way through there. They're coming up to a couple of GT cars at the moment. I think that's going to be the Glam Racing Audi, which they managed to dispatch. Here they go then through Gendembian Bend.
One lap further, then Nello will be ahead of us. Then
up towards Le Mans curve, back onto the power. Jimi Nisula will be just applying, just putting on more and more pressure. She is feeling that pressure right now, looking up the inside in towards Sunset Bend, and with GT cars ahead, that might be a good idea. Oh, there's contact with Michi Hoyer and the GT car to their left-hand side as they make their way out of Sunset Bend onto the start-finish straight, as I'm sure Michi will be on the radio too, filling those radio airwaves. In towards turn 1 we go, still running on board with Jimi Nisula. And up towards turn 2, yeah, Nisula looks just a little bit too far back to try and move this time around, but these two have been keeping us honest the whole time. It has been absolutely fantastic to watch, and it's a treat to watch these two drivers. Back onto the power we go then, and through Gurney Bend. And there is going to be, we've just had a report from Race Control that there's going to be a drive-through penalty for the number 18, and that is Michi Hoyer. So Michi Hoyer gets himself a drive-through penalty. That will shake up the order somewhat, and that's for not giving space for the car 64 for Jimi Nisula behind at turn 3. So that's huge then. That is a huge thing for Michi Hoyer with that drive-through penalty. He'll be told that very shortly, if not already. And that's going to just allow Jimi Nisula the position, which is the last thing Michi Hoyer wanted, because Jimi Nisula is the driver and the car with the pace right now as they get their way past the LMP2 Deuces Motorsport. I'm sure as well Moradness eStars have got to be on the tail of Jimi Nisula. They've got to be on his radio waves and say to him, look, just keep the pressure up, because the car ahead's got the drive-through. You'll have that position soon. But I don't think soon is good enough for Jimi Nisula. He wants it now. Looking round the outside, in towards Sunset Bend. Round the outside he will go. Respect the bumps. Back onto the power. Is that going to be Nisula who takes over the lead? It will be Nisula who takes over the lead as we see Michi Hoyer come into the pits, no doubt to serve his drive-through penalty. Nisula takes the lead around the outside of Sunset Bend, and it will be Moradness eStars leading the way, and that's going to be a long 20 seconds there for Michi Hoyer. And there we saw Arturas Deuces trying to go up the inside of one of the GT cars.
5 minutes ago.
Thank you.
Michi obviously questioning the drive-through there, asking when the last time he was that got it. But nevertheless, he rejoins the circuit. And what's that going to do to the time behind? It's about 22.5 seconds at the moment. But that's how much it costs you for a drive-through penalty. About 22.5 seconds if you're in the hypercars. There is Deuces in the 33 Team Adrenaline car, with that motion rig in full flow at the moment. Of course, we'll be hearing from the teams and the drivers throughout as you see the radio wave come up. And apologies if I do speak over them, but otherwise we'll be spent all day listening to them, which actually maybe for everybody else is a good idea. I don't know. Anyway, what's happened to the Telefoonigan car? Michael Slot, wheel of the BMW. What did happen? Go on, replay, go on. You know you want to. This is coming out of the hairpin bend. See what happened there, but anyway. We're back on with the GTR car. Currently second place in class, Lucas Verla. It's been a whirlwind for him so far. He's done a really good job so far. It'd be great to have a chat with Lucas after he's finished his stint, if we can pull him to one side, because he's had a little bit of everything. There's Jimi Nisula into the pits there. Now, this is going to be for a scheduled stop, and no doubt Michi Hoyer is going to have his scheduled stop, if not on this lap, maybe the lap after. In fact, on my timing screen, he is on an in-lap. Quite clearly see, that's not the case. He'll be on the in-lap now, but heading now up his way towards turn 1. So Michi Hoyer will take over the lead again, but he's still got to make a pit stop. Drive-through penalty will have shaken up the order here in hypercar class, I should say. Going to mean then that still Burst eSports SimPlexity will lead the way, but they will have to take another stop. They are out of sync with the Moradness eStars car. We are on board now with Jimi Nisula in the pits, and I wonder if there's going to be a change of driver this time around. Doesn't look like it. No, Jimmy is still in the car. Long stints then for Jimi Nisula. I mean, if he's in the groove, if he's in the zone, then the team want to keep him out there as long as possible. There will be the sort of the fair share ideology, so they'll have to have the rest of the drivers take the car at some point in this race. Oh, they did change driver. It is Nello Pastorino now in the car. So, Nello Pastorino jumps in, takes over, and it's his turn now to have a go at the reins of the Moradness eStars car. Hoyer, meanwhile, will be looking to try and extend that gap as much as possible. See if I can actually try and grab. This is the thing now, I get to annoy people, which is, I love annoying people. It's do. Let me see if I can have the Jimi Nisula, from Finland is Jimmy. Problem now with only one person in the box. Got to make sure. Have a chat to some of these drivers. Oh, I've not done that right. I've just done it in the broadcast studio. It's all gone wrong. It's all going wrong. Meanwhile, then, Scientist trying to make his way up the order. Production are laughing at me. That's not fair. Production say they're busy enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. That's what I wanted to do. Open the text chat with Jimmy and see if he wants to have a chat with us. That's it. Right, we've got it now. It's all under control. Michi Hoyer into the pit lane. Let's see if there's going to be a change of driver or whether Michi's going to stay in the car. Not just yet, but normally when they start pulling away, that's when they get the... We'll be putting Jesper Pedersen into the car, but we'll wait for the timing screens to update to tell us that. Yep, that's exactly right, production. Production are on point today. Yes, Jesper Pedersen now jumps in. He'll take over, and that's going to mean that Nello Pastorino will go back into the lead of the race with the 64 Moradness eStars car. There's Denis Eschenko in the 17 Unison Racing. They were 70 seconds back from the leaders before those pit stops. And whoa, there's the Team Adrenaline car. Arturus Ascitis, that can't be comfortable riding those curves like that with the rig he's got set up. That cannot be comfortable. But running okay at the moment. Try and find his way through. Again, see if we can have a chat to Michi Hoyer. Great to have with him as well. Was leading for a very good portion of the race before that drive-through penalty. We're watching on with Masitis, trying to make his way past. This is forward with him. He makes that pass. Oh, that was close from Rasmus Andreasen. Very much got to the back end there. We saw that rear wing up close and personal right there. So no more room for detail there. We can see that diffuser. It's very good up close, apparently. Maybe I didn't want to see it that close. Very close up. Speaking of Rasmus Andreasen, 94 Burst eSports Goddr Sunglasses team. They are currently running in third place. Keeping themselves to themselves at the moment. They're kind of in a race of their own. It seems to be a common theme for our 4 LMP2 drivers and teams. They seem to be just spaced out among the track at the moment, which is never necessarily a bad thing because it means that they can just keep themselves to themselves, get on with their pace and just show the teams and stick to the strategy as best as possible. So now that Pastorino takes over Moradness eStars car, Jesper Pedersen now into the 18 Burst eSports SimPlexity car. Has slipped under the radar. Yes, João Barbosa is now at the 74 Deuces Motorsport Club machine in GTE. Still behind the car, or behind the wheel, Angel Benegas in the MCM Motorsports. Jakub Kowalski in Glam Racing now, taking over as we're going 3 wide up towards Sunset Bend. Not normally you see that between 3 different classes, but that was Gadget who's up the inside of California. And that's a battle between 2 different classes. California do yield there. Got 585 Acetec have come out of the pits. They rejoined 6th in class. I think through everything. It looks like all the driver changes we have spotted. Alister Yoong is in the Sem 9 axle car now. 4th place in Hypercar. Stands then quite a shuffle of the grid with that drive-through penalty. What it does mean is we're going to take a little bit of a break. But at the moment, though, Nello Pastorino takes over. Denis Eschenko, after that pit stop for our 2 leaders, now finds himself in 2nd place. So we are expecting him to stop soon. So too, the Sem 9 axle car will probably be pitting shortly, but Darius Andrei in the 15 Deuces Motorsport Club car, leading in the LMP2 class. Leading GTE is Deuces Motorsports Club. In the 74, Joao Barbosa, taking over that very recently. And leader of GT3 is Lucas Verla, the CKR car, now leading the field ahead of the 404 Glam Racing machine, recently taken over by Jakub Kowalski. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more after this.
The 2022 Endurance E-Racing World Championship brought to you in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patriot, Aztec SimSports, Global Flix, Motorvision.tv, Sten Goldman, ESTV, and Film Vault Limited.
Racing for Green is here to help you carbon neutralize your racing. By planting new trees, Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
Just think about the fun things you do online. Diving into movies you love. Shopping. Enjoying free Wi-Fi with your morning coffee. Wait, who's that guy? Meet the Digital Snooper. It can be your internet service provider peeking at what you do online, or a cyber criminal on a mission to snitch your credit card info, or a hacker at the next table trying to steal your sensitive data. Uh-oh. But don't worry. NordVPN keeps all these snoopers away. It makes your internet activity private, protects you from accessing dangerous websites, and lets you enjoy your favorite content securely, even while away from home. The best part? It's just a click. Yep, internet security is that easy.
You can get NordVPN today at a 60% discount by visiting gtr24h.org/VPN.
Welcome back to the third round of the EEWC here at the 12 hours of Sebring. We're 3.5 hours into this one. My name is Kieran McGinley, and let's just get straight back into it, because during the break, a drive-through penalty was awarded to the 74 car. Deuces Motorsports Club have got themselves a drive-through penalty for a dive bomb on 54, so that would have been the Musto Pescara machine. Turn 3. Now, this was some time ago, but the incident was only recently submitted, and so that will be a drive-through penalty for the 74 car. But that's what you missed during the advert break. Another thing I'm delighted to say is we might have a driver ready to join us here in our pokey little commentary box. Hopefully we can have a chat to Michi Hoyer. Michi, can you hear us? We talk power. Production will do that for
now
me.
I can.
Michi, welcome along. That was an impressive stint you've just completed, leading for a lot of that. How do you feel out there? How was the car?
The car is good. I mean, we're running a total different setup or a total different philosophy of setup compared to the Moradness guys. They are a lot quicker on the straights than we are. But I mean, getting into the lead right on the start and then trying to defend on the straights as much as possible surely got us ahead on the strategy. We're expecting some rain, so we believe our car to be much better in those conditions then. So let's see what's going to happen. But the car is alright. Like, the guys have done a good job on the setup, and yeah, we're now just maximizing the pace.
Yeah, and yourself and Jimi Nisula were going through a bit of a side-by-side battle, a bit of contact here and there, but you got yourself the drive-through, has put you back a little bit, but are we expecting you back in the car very soon?
No, I'm going to take over the car probably after midnight again. I just got to say, like, we heavily disagree with that drive-through penalty. Obviously now the damage is done, but there was enough space, and I quite don't, like, you know, personally I think Nisula has run into us, and if not for us there, he would have not made the corner. But either way, it is what it is. We now got a 70.5 second gap to Moradness, and now, well, we're trying to be on the verge, trying to hang in and get back that gap and eventually do an overtake.
And Sebring here, Florida, is very famous for its sort of storms that happen late on in the afternoon. Is that something you're prepared for?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was mentioning, like with a different car configuration. Like, obviously we've prepared for a kind of hybrid setup. I guess we lack some performance here in the dry, but we expect Moradness to lack a big chunk of performance later on in the wet. I mean, we might be surprised in the end after all, but for the moment, like, we're running a lot more downforce than what you would do in the dry. But we hope to have our benefits from that later on when the rain comes. Yeah, we're definitely I think we're expecting a thunderstorm in roughly 2.5 hours from now. So the majority of the race should be in wet condition, and then we believe to have a better cart on our end.
And obviously, Burst eSports SimPlexity, 2 wins back-to-back so far, Matsusaka and Monza. I'm guessing you're going to try and make it 3 out of 3, but I mean, that would be obvious, wouldn't it, for me to say that? But yourselves and Moradness have clearly got that rivalry. Are we expecting that to continue to the end of the season?
I mean, Moradness is certainly our most strong competitor. Like, I'm not sure what happened to the Axel car today. They were quite quick in the second race around Monza. Yeah, surely Moradness are the ones to watch out for. I wouldn't just count off this race already. Like, yes, we're a little bit on the downside, but I can see that the Esper is pulling down the gap. And, well, just as you say, they are surely our strongest competitors, but we're just thinking from race to race and see what's going to happen. Of course, we appreciate the competition around here. And so it's not just a 12-hour boring drive to the finish line, but yeah, of course we try to maximize everything so that we got the better result on our end in the end.
Well, Michi, thank you so much for joining us. We'll let you get back to your team and whatnot, but thank you so much for having a chat with us. It's been great to chat.
Yeah, thank you for having me. See you later.
Very much to Michi Hoyer, part of the Burst eSports SimPlexity lineup here. Currently second place in the race. So great to hear from him now. Production have brought up the weather map, which normally means it's a bit of news happening. There is that. It's really brewing from the bottom. We heard Michi say they're expecting rain and a thunderstorm in around 2.5 hours' time, and so they've got that hybrid setup, which makes it they're slightly slower on the straights, but they're prepared for the rain if and when it hits. So that might be the rain that Michi's talking about there. 2.5 hours away. Interested to hear from teams as well when they think the rain is going to hit, because of course all that data is there. It's all to be interpreted by different teams, and that's going to be something that they're going to have to watch out for. But as Michi also pointed out, the Burst eSports SimPlexity car is closing in on Moradness eStars. Last lap time for Pastorino, 46.3. Last lap time for Pedersen, 45.7. So really running well at the moment. The Nabil Aslan, M9 Axle number 21 machine. Currently 4th out of 4 at the moment. And well, that has flown under my radar. No, I didn't think so. So only the 4 LMP2 cars here today. Does mean as the race you've got yourself a good haul of points on your way. There is Nella Pastorino then in the Moradness eStars car, currently leading the way, being reeled in by Burst eSports SimPlexity. Then we have Peter Vagapov as well. Just as we were talking there have been a couple of driver changes here, there and everywhere, whichever team you look at. Peter Vagapov has taken over in the number 17 Unison Racing car. Josh Pervine in the 7.9 Axle, number 11 hypercar, is now at the wheel. Down at Deuces Motorsport Club, the number 15 is now being driven by Robert Pohl. Still got Nabo Aslan in that Sem 9 machine. Looking down the order, have we got any? No, that's your lot then. Joao Barbosa also took that drive-through penalty for 74 Deuces Motorsports Club that they were awarded. That's put them now behind the 717 Unison Racing. Trying to close in. Bit of traffic out there because the last lap time for Max Binovic in the Unison Racing, 59.4 compared to Joao Barbosa's 201.5. There is Nabil Aslan then, 4th place so far, trying to close in actually to Robert Pohl. Last lap times there go in the favour of Robert Pohl there. Long out of the pits, that's why they are close to each other out on track. There we see Tom Kapusta then in the 264 Satellite Racing, using Max Pernovic as a little bit of a slipstream down towards turn 1, a lap between them. But that is not going to stop Kapusta from trying to find his way past and get in front. There's Nabil Aslan once again making his way through Sunset Bend. Then makes his way on towards the start-finish straight. Things have calmed down a bit, but what hasn't calmed down is the air temperature and the track temperature, going up and up still. Air temperature 27 degrees, track temperature 25. So getting a bit warmer at the moment. Clouds have gathered over Sebring here, and that is a sign of things to come. From Michi, they reckon 2.5 hours down at Burst. Sports SimPlexity. That rain to hit. That's what they have set themselves up for that rain. We heard from them, we heard from Michi saying that hybrid setup. The difference now at the moment, especially with the straight line speed. There's Tom Kapusta then. The 166 ID Simsut Marcus Stair is now behind the wheel. Track temperature has gone up, the air temperature has gone up. So players are going to be a little handle than they were at the start of the race. I think, as far as I remember, track temperature's gone up 3 degrees since the start of the race, maybe more than that. So, and those 3 degrees do have a profound effect on tyres. Careful not to overheat them. That good stuff. Way towards the final corner, Sunset Bend. To the start-finish straight. We might have Liam Rance into the pits very soon. So too Nabil Aslan. Robert Pohl out. In the pits, right? I think so. There's a lot of drivers that have just emerged from the pits. Some drivers just making their way out of the pits as well. Here is Kapusta then. 264 Satellite Racing car. About the odd seconds between the 264 Satellite Racing and the ID SimSport car. There is Rasmus Andreasen in that rig. If you haven't seen it before, It's a very, very advanced rig, that's for sure. Motion throughout. A motion seat. So every bump, every turn, he'll lean this way and that. I'm very jealous of his rig. Very jealous of it indeed. I wouldn't be able to do much with it. Would love to put a lap or two in it before I hit the wall. The problem with that though is that if you hit the wall, you know it. Whereas here, it's just sort of, oh, press escape. If you've got a wheel in front of you, oh, just press escape. No big loss, unless you're on a direct drive wheel. Hands might come off. But virtuous. Actually trying to say someone might be around. I heard the word interview and then my ears didn't hear anything before it. I'm sure they will call someone in. Further down the line. Then make his way to the final corner. There's the Glam Racing machine as well. Racing currently second in class. Jakub Kowalski is behind the wheel, but there is Tom Kapusta. Different classes, these two, but that might not stop them battling in towards turn one. And you see then Kowalski just deciding this isn't his fight. He knows that. Or he keeps that car in one piece. That was the Sem 9 axle LMP2 making its way through. I think now the last wheel of that car. No, it's Mohamed Alif is now behind the wheel. Reno still losing time to Jesper Pedersen at the moment. The gap is just under 15 seconds at the top of the hypercars. Jakub Kowalski is some way behind Lucas Verla at the moment. I mean, Verla's put in a massive stint in this one. Really, really has. Oh. Yeah, would love to have a chat with him once his stint is complete. Gone a long way into this race. I think he did start this race, so he's been in there ever since as we approach the end of the third hour. Done a mega stint so far. This might be his only stint of the race. That's why he's out there for so long. 12 hours. Got 3 drivers. You've got 4 hours in the car. That's it. So those some leeway here and there. Generally how it goes. Jakub Kowalski then trying to close in on that gap. There is your leader in hypercars then, Nella Pastorino, Moradness eStars in the 64, making their way up towards the hairpin turn. Through the Fangio chicane. Well, in the YouTube chat, it'd be lovely to hear from you. So too on Twitter, hashtag GTR248 if you want to get involved. Love to hear from you. See, maybe you're a driver and you want to tweet to us. Hey, by all means. You might even want to say how bad the commentary is. By all means, go for it. At the moment, though, Reno leading the way. Just having a look at the latest lap times. 45.8 from Nella Pastorino last time out. 46.1 from Jesper Pedersen. See here, Pastorino's got a little bit of traffic here. I think that's the MCM Motorsport and Martin. Reno's now past, and that's the DIS Sim Racing Lab machine as well now. Nella Pastorino has to try and find a way round. That way around, and now he'll be on the outside. Brave Nello, but it's paid off. That's the main thing. It has paid off. We head our way now down in towards turn one. Spoken myself and Chris a lot, especially in practice qualifying, how the back ends of these machines can be very nervous, especially through turns 1 and through the sunset bend. A very nervous car that just doesn't want to play ball through these high-speed corners, and you will have a tough time. Sun just trying to poke through above the skies here, through the clouds. Enough to get some sort of light through. Rain, I mean, I feel like we're going to be saying that a lot. The rain, where is it? Where's it? Well, yeah. It's Florida. It's still brewing to the south, I'm told by production. Then again, it is Florida, as I think production told me last night. It's a very fair point. It is Florida. Who knows? Who knows if it's going to rain? Who knows? So, still chasing and still setting fast lap times out there. Jesper Pedersen 45.9 compared to Moradness eStars Nella Pestarino 47.6. Gap's now down to just under 12.5 seconds. I suppose it's worth an idea of class, as we see here now Pastorino leading the way. Jesper Pedersen in the Burst eSports SimPlexity car in second in class. Peter Vagapov in the 17 Unison racing car, rounding off the top three in hypercar. There's Jesper Pedersen there through Sunset Bend. Looking through LMP2, the top three so far, there's only 4 cars there, but Liam Rance in the satellite racing car is in the lead. There you saw just in the background the BIS Sim Racing Lab car into the pits. So Liam Rance in satellite racing 164 leads in LMP2. Robert Pone in the number 15 Deuces Motorsport Club LMP2 car is in second place, and a change of driver at the number 94 based 94 Burst eSports Goddr Sunglasses. Tom Aldermenger has taken over and is currently third in class. For GTE then, it's the 717 Unison Racing. Max Bunovic is at the head of the GTE field. Then it's Deuces Motorsports Club 74, Joao Barbosa in second place. Then it's the just recently pitted DIS Sim Racing Lab car in place. Then in GT3, it's Lucas Verla in CKR leading the way. Jakub Kowalski in second place in the 404 Glam racing car. Then in third place, it's the B32 racing car. Back wheels of that car. That car is in third place. Air temperature up to 27 degrees, track temperature up to 25. As we watch on with Jesper Pedersen try and make his way past that B32 Racing McLaren, which he does very well. Coleman straight. Apparently, there's a problem with production. A wasp over there, and they got rid of it. That was a very small emergency. It made that sound a bit more urgent than it was. Apparently production didn't tell me until it was out. I guess the pilot treatment was. This is Adrenaline and Viaductin. Now, that looks very interesting. Once the replay gets going, we'll be able to see what's going on between the two of them. Titus. Replay's not playing ball, unfortunately, but there we go. Yeah, so production only told me about that wasp until the wasp was gone. I guess they were hiding. That's the way it is. Today production. Angel Bonegas then in the MCM Motorsport car. His way through. There is the Denis Shchenko. Oh, sorry, no, it's Peter Vakapov now in the Unison Racing car. They're dispatching some of the GT cars. Currently third in class in the hypercars. I always say hyperclass. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a clever portmanteau of the two words. Hypercar class. I don't think it's going to catch. Maybe if we give it a try. Doubt it though. I very much doubt it. It's not going to catch on. That was very hard. But you know what? I needed it. There is the 17 car. Way through Sunset Bend. Oh. Very nervously through Sunset Bend, I might add. But Vakapov able to keep that all under wraps. Last lap time there, 46.5. 36.5 from the last time around. Bumps through the final corner. Can be very, very tricky. Indeed. And he plans out. Still leading a DPI. gap is now down to 10.9. Battle for the lead. There, I believe, is Jesper Pedersen we're riding on board with in the Burst eSports SimPlexity car. This way now, on through Banjo Chicane and up towards Cunningham Corner. .90 right with that sleeping policeman on the inside. There's an Aston Martin to white front. It's Deuces Motorsports. They are currently second in class in GTE, Joao Barbosa at the wheel. And having a look at GTE, currently, the gap is 13 seconds. Deuces close the gap. The last lap time 2:01.5. Last lap time for Unison 3:09.8. Unison. Hyperclass, it's 11 seconds. Deuces Motorsport Club have just pitted out and they are about 5.7 behind Satellite Racing in LMP2. Budovic in Unison, we've spoken about, who's just started a brand new lap. Lucas Verla, well, he's ahead of 3 GTE cars at the moment. Lucas Verla is having a ball out there. He's enjoying himself. He really, really is. He's putting in a fantastic stint. He's had a best lap time of 2 minutes 0.4 in this race. His last lap time was a 2:02, but bear in mind that what he's lapping, what his best lap time is pretty much matching the last lap times of the GTE. So he's doing a phenomenal job out there, right? And he has been in the car since the very start of the race. So no doubt there might be a bit of fatigue on that side, but no doubt about it, he's doing a fine job out. For pole then in the Deuces Motorsport Club number 15. Making their way now in towards turn 1. It's always great to see standings are now Deuces. They had, I believe, a 5th and a 4th at Matsusaka and Monza, respectively, in LMP2. They currently are in 2nd. They'll be hoping for their first podium of the season. Still quite a way to go before that, but they haven't had a podium in LMP2 so far. They'd love to get that voodoo off their back for the season. Completed half distance in the championship by the end of tonight, by roughly 2 a.m. Central European summertime. Wherever you're watching in the world, a very warm welcome to you here. We are 24H, third round of the EEWC. On then, laps now. There's gap is now 4.9, so it's still coming down. So we might get ourselves a battle in the near future. LMP2. Already seen some battles out here. It just seems like everybody's now into their own race, their own groove right now. In fact, that's your class leader up there, just up the road, not very far away at all. There's Angel Benegas. DKR car ahead. Now this is 2 different classes at the moment, but Angel Benegas is looking to try and find his way through the picture at the moment. Benegas on the right hand side, I believe that is the Deuces Motorsport Club car on the left, as it tries to chase down the class leader. Now for Benegas then, it's all about trying to get past Lucas Verla. Verla is in he's under no obligation to let the car through. Not only because they're on the same lap, but also they might be in different classes, but that's still nothing. There's no obligation for the McLaren to make way. McLaren is quick enough, it will want to stay ahead. Then just trying to hide through that gap, and then we have one of the hypercars. I think that's the Team Adrenaline 33 car up the inside, one of the hypercars. Its way through. Always tricky when you've got 2 GT cars up ahead who want to try and battle away. But on the left hand side, Deuces are trying to get past one of the Musto cars, which is the 54. We lost the 53 earlier on. but manages to get past. 4 seconds now. Being our class leaders, might have gone up slightly with that little bit of battling. Nevertheless, Robert Pone, who is eager to get himself going. Now we've got someone in the pits. And it's Pedersen coming into the pits then. From the lead of the race, so Burst eSports SimPlexity into the pits. Now, I didn't think it was that long ago we spoke to Michi. I suppose actually Michi had a breather. He did say he wanted to take a break before he had a chat to us. But that's probably going to say that's a scheduled stop then for Pedersen. Marino also came into the pits as well. Laps ago. Closing now in. Then they can retake the lead. I mean, it was around 11 seconds the gap for the pit stops between the two of them. Going to be close again. There it is. There goes Burst eSports SimPlexity rejoining into the lead. Fantastic stuff. It's going to mean that they're going to battle once again. Jesper Pedersen then in the Burst eSports SimPlexity car takes over the lead in hypercars. Nella Pastorino in the Moradness eStarts car right behind him as they make their way now through Gurney Bend and up towards Hairpin Bend. You see then Pedersen goes defensive in towards the right-hander here, and Pastorino is going to try and find his way through. The radio waves will be absolutely busy right now, and Pastorino will be asking, how on earth has this happened? But look at this now, the run he's got up towards Cunningham Corner and trying to get that car steering in as we make our way through Collier Curve up towards Tower Turn, the 90 right. Still no way through for Pastorino right now. Back onto the power we go, and on towards the Flying Fortress straight towards Bishop Bend. They've got a GT car up ahead. That's one of the Musto cars. As you see there, the Burst eSports SimPlexity car finds a way through, but the Musto car can't do anything about Pastorino behind. Nervous twitch then from Pastorino. Might have lost a little bit of time to Pedersen up ahead, and with this battle ongoing, we are going to take a quick commercial break. We'll keep this battle on your screen so you don't miss a thing, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
The 2022 Endurance E-Racing World Championship brought to you in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patriot, Aztec SimSports, Global Flix, Motorvision.tv, Sten Goldman, ESTV, and Film Vault Limited.
Racing for Green is here to help you carbon neutralize your racing. By planting new trees, Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
Just think about the fun things you do online. Diving into movies you love. Shopping. Enjoying free Wi-Fi with your morning coffee. Wait, who's that guy? Meet the Digital Snooper. It can be your internet service provider peeking at what you do online, or a cyber criminal on a mission to snitch your credit card info, or a hacker at the next table trying to steal your sensitive data. Uh-oh. But don't worry, NordVPN keeps all these snoopers away. It makes your internet activity private, protects you from accessing dangerous websites, and lets you enjoy your favorite content securely, even while away from home. The best part? It's just a click. Yep, internet security is that easy.
You can get NordVPN today at a 60% discount by visiting gtr24h.org/VPN.